G8 Fermanagh, where the big players on the world stage came to talk in early summer. Now the talk is about pace notes, as the fastest stage men and women come to town to contest 4 championships in late summer.
Welcome to Enniskillen, the new home of the Todd's Leap Ulster International Rally. This year's events include the Irish Tarmac, the British Historic and the Northern Ireland Rally Championships. We start our programme with highlights of the British and Irish Tarmac series.
Plenty of variety then, with the clubmen and the would-be professionals mixing it over the excellent stages chosen by the Northern Ireland Motor Club. And it all starts in the centre of the county town as the umbrellas go up in Enniskillen, where there's a big welcome for their local hero.
I must say it's great for County Fermanagh, and it's great that the Motor Club has looked into it and brought the rally here to a great province, and it's going to be very, very tough stages for everybody.
Sam Moffat has again hired the car that brought him victory in Donegal.
It's a long rally and very tough rally, and I have to say, it's a credit. You know, they're international stages, and there's 2 12 or 13 mile stages, and they will be, I'd say, they could be deciders in the whole rally. They're that long that if you had the wrong tyre on them or anything, it could really pay dividends.
Derek McGarry has a Focus WRC, and we pass this expensive traffic jam and the British Championship entries to meet somebody from the most famous Fermanagh rallying family.
Uncle Bertie won the Ulster back in, I think it was 82. That was his first international win, so we'll see how we go this weekend. Obviously would like a good result.
Famous lakes are getting topped up as Garry Jennings and Bertie Fisher's old partner Rory Kennedy dive into the first test, Topped Mountain.
60, stay right on the fast, 3 left.
This is not good, however, as the Kesh driver has wrongly guessed the tyre choice, and on the streaming wet roads, they'll drop a disastrous 20 seconds. It's no go, as there's no grip, and the rally favourite is right out of it on the first loop.
It's too right, Brave. Too right, Brave now.
And brave Garry certainly is, as on the next Fardross and Malabeny Hill stages, where conditions are a little drier, the Tarmac Championship leader pulls back the gap to just 5 seconds, to lie second as they head to service at St Angelo Airfield. The new wonder kid at the top of the tarmac tree, Sam Moffat, starts well, second fastest on the first stage, but still 14 seconds off fastest. Again, he's second fastest on stage 2, and fastest on stage 3. Not bad, third overall and just 10 seconds off the lead. Derek McGarry knows how to win the Ulster, and he annihilates everyone on stage 1 in the Focus WRC. But a stall at a hairpin has cost some time on the second test. Declan Boyle is the national rally champion, but he's having no luck on internationals. As in Donegal, he retires at the end of the first stage. This time, it's a turbo. Donna Kelly has made a steady, if not electric, start in 4th. Donegal Group N winner Stephen Wright is just ahead in the Group N race after swapping positions with Josh Moffat after stage 2. Enniskillen driver Rory Byrne, however, is set to retire when he clips a wheel on stage 3. But another local man, Willie Maviti, is now 3rd in Group N.
Luca Cohonen leads the British Championship, but all eyes are on Alistair Fisher in the Rally Northern Ireland section. Fisher starts well, second fastest in stages 1 and 2. Then he slides off into a field on stage 3, and Fermanagh's hopes are over almost before they began. Welshman Tom Cave leads the Brit pack, and on stage 1 his time is sensational, second overall amongst the WRC runners. Johnny Greer is slowed by a faulty intercom in his Citroën DS3. Mark Donnelly, the Pirelli star driver, must be disappointed with the 9th, whilst 20-year-old Oisin Price has started well in 6th. Joe McGonigal's R3 Clio provides a more pleasant sound and an alternative to the DS3s, and some of the 1600 R2 class cars are faring well. Monaghan's Daniel McKenna is a fine 5th, despite some throttle problems. But the sensation is 18-year-old John Armstrong.
We're second overall in the VRC, so it's going pretty well. Not sure how far we're off Tom, but we're not trying to beat him anyway. I think we're fastest overall in the VRC in stage 2, so it's one for the books.
The big boys have been a bit humbled by the minnows as Garry Jennings arrives into service.
Yeah, the Kumo tyre works very, very well in the wet, but just unfortunately when it's just a fraction too hard, a harder tyre. A softer one would have been ideal, but when we left here at 12 o'clock it was fine. It was just when we were up the town and we headed to the first stage, the heavens opened.
It's a choice of tyres, I had the right tyres in one stage, other drivers had good tyres in other stages, and it's just a gamble there at the minute, but hopefully now we'll have a better run this time.
Indeed, it has been a gamble, and the leader, Derek McGarrity, he gambled right on the first stage.
We went with a heavier cup tyre in the first stage, which brilliant choice, but 2 and 3, any advantage we gained, and then we probably lost in the second and third one.
Now for the first of 4 St Angelo Modern Tyre Service Super Specials on the airfield. Jennings lays the rubber. Always the showman, Garry is at his spectacular best. Best to watch, possibly not best on the clock. Rory looks as though he's enjoying the ride. Permission to leave the apron control. Permission to leave the county at this rate of going. We have a much more sensible Sam who plays it steady and is third fastest to consolidate his third position. Stand back. Here comes Garry. That's what I call putting the boot in. Now, there's no boot left, and with it has gone the rear spoiler, and you really need downforce in a fast test like this. No rear grip and more tyre bashing still. Amazingly gung-ho, Garry is second fastest, just 2 seconds slower than Derek McGarrity's fast forward. Back out in the country, we pick up the Rally NI runners on the second loop. Tom Cave is the leader, but he'll lose that position when he gets stuck on a bank on the day's final stage. Mark Donnelly ends the day in 7th, having dropped time as the stages began to dry out too much for his intermediate tyres. And that helped Johnny Greer to get ahead in 6th as he gambled on cut slick tyres. Daniel McKenna is adapting well to front-wheel drive this season and ends the day in 5th in his C2 Ford.
We're number one priority at the championship, we're leading the championship with 5 points, and if it stays the way it is at the moment we'll extend our lead, so but I still can't understand how quick he is, but he's flying, so fair play to him.
Daniel is referring to the C2 leader, John Armstrong. Scotsman John McCrone is seen here flying 4th until a big accident on Saturday morning. John Armstrong will also depart the rally on Saturday morning, but not before he'd made a big enough impression to earn him the Pirelli Star Driver nomination this weekend. The BRC Championship leader, 29-year-old Jukka Korhonen, has moved into 2nd.
It's totally new for me, and it's heavy rain and so sleepy, and where is the grip and where is the no grip, and but we try to be clever and try to make good result for tomorrow and also.
But the real mover has been the young Welsh driver Oisin Price, who now holds a 4.4 second lead over the Finn. Can Oisin, like his fellow countryman Gwyndaf Evans in 1989, score his first BRC win on the Ulster?
Now we return to the top category, the Ulster Rally for the Irish Tarmac Championship runners. Willie Maviti has had a scare earlier in the day when a tractor drove out onto the stage. Josh Moffat led the Group N race until stage 6, when he had a moment that has dropped him just behind his fellow Monaghan driver Stephen Wright at the finish of the first day. Now it's all to play for between these two young rivals.
Yeah, very close now. Picked up where we left off. It's just second for second on every stage, and there's about 8 seconds in it now going into tomorrow, so it's not much after a day's rallying, and I can imagine tomorrow's going to be more of the same.
Sam Moffat, Josh's older brother, will retire from 3rd place after stage 5 with transmission problems. Donna Kelly therefore picks up a place to move into 3rd, and he is also picking up his pace. Derek McGarrity also drops a place in this loop to 2nd, but he's still just 11 seconds behind, and tyre choice has been a lottery today.
We went out there on a wet type rear tyre, which was a bit of a mistake, but it was my own mistake. A slick would have been quicker, and Garry went on a slick, but I'm still quite happy that we can race him.
Fast 3 left maybe.
Garry Jennings is on the attack here on Topped Mountain 2.
215. That left past lane. Water okay, 115.
The Subaru has been reunited with his boot, and it seems none the worse for its bale bashing episode. recording a run of 3 fastest times to lead the event for the first time. It's been a dramatic day for the cash driver.
We had an awful shunt now, definitely did, but just we luckily got away with what the damage we had, so there was no mechanical damage hopefully. When she was a bit second hand, we just decided to go for it, you know, but like we lost 20 seconds in the first stage this morning, so we're very happy to be leading now, be over 10, which, you know, we take into consideration it's 30 seconds, so it's been a bit nerve-wracking now, but at least it's more exciting.
And it's been all about choosing the right compound of those black round things at the right time. Will tomorrow be any different?
It has been a tough day, and the top crews will be out again at 6:45 tomorrow morning for 8 more stages and the finish in Enniskillen. Welcome to day 2 on the Todd's Leap Ulster Rally. It's been a dawn start for the top runners today, and we get straight into the action with the 2 Tyrone tests, Slaughinglen and Widow McGee.
Here we are on the opening Slaughinglen test, and at over 13 miles in length, it's a critical stage.
And the fast 3 right line.
For Garry Jennings and Rory Kennedy, it's a great start to the day, with 2 fastest times and a lead that extends from 11 seconds to 49 in 3 stages. It's fast and spectacular as Garry broadsides out of the junctions. Derek McGarity has had a huge time loss of over 30 seconds on Slaughinglen when he spun across a bridge and had to execute a multi-point turn to get going again. A win is now looking less likely, but he has the consolation of having a good buffer over 3rd place Donna Kelly. Josh Moffat moves into the Group N lead on this dramatic loop of stages, as Stephen Wright drops nearly 3 minutes when a turbo pipe comes adrift on his Lancer. There's no time for a cuppa for Willie Mavitti and Andrew Brown, who are in 6th. In Rally NI, Oisin Price is hanging on to the British Championship lead, extending his advantage to Jukka Kohonen to 22 seconds now in this Citroën DS3 dominated series. Daniel McKenna is now a fine 3rd following John McCrone and John Armstrong's crashes. Johnny Greer in 4th is coming under pressure from the Pirelli star driver Mark Donnelly, who is at last starting to click with his Citroën after several seasons in an R3 Clio. Mayo's David Carney is trying hard here, and he'll end up 9th in the Rally NI event with his C2R2 Max.
One thing that rally fans are guaranteed on the Ulster is variety. As well as the modern cars in the British and the Irish Tarmac Championships, you've got these glorious historic entries and national entries to enjoy also. Let's go see who comes out on top.
We start with the historics, which are dominated by the Mark II Escort. First up are Wesley Patterson and Sean Haid, and they end the first leg of 4 stages in 3rd, 30 seconds behind 2nd place Ryan Barrett in a similar BDA Escort. Ernie Graham loves coming home to compete in this event, and he ends the leg in 6th, 1 minute behind 4th place Rob Smith in his newly built Escort. But the overnight leader by just half a second is the Welsh visitor Gareth James on his first trip to the Ulster.
I've only done 2 Irish Tarmac events, which were West Cork and Wexford about 4 years ago. But, yeah, it's great. The stages are great, really fast and enjoyable.
David Stokes, a legend from 70s rallying, is 7th, while Richard Hill's similar Escort is 4th. Desi Nutt is right in the thick of an entertaining battle for the pre-1968 class. It's an Escort lockout in the top 5, and it's turned to darkness as we turn to the National Rally.
Last year's winner Frank Kelly leads overnight with his 2.5 JRE engined Escort.
This is your Kerry line.
And he's found the damp roads difficult with his powerful machine. Paddy McVeigh in a WRC Subaru ends the day in 3rd, behind Derek McGeehan, who was challenging for the lead until a problem with the anti-lag system on the day's final test.
Well, Derek, you're holding the part in your hands, probably only a couple of quid or whatever, but it's cost you a bit of time.
It did. On the end of the second last stage, the switch broke for ALS. So we sat for about 5 minutes and nobody could find pliers to try and switch it off, and we lost the brakes. Big panic to get to the 3rd stage, and then with no ALS, stalled in the start line. We turned off, couldn't get lights on because we'd lost all the panel and switched the ignition on and off, and we dropped a good 10-15 seconds probably in the start of the last stage, but we ended up with the quickest time through it, believe it or not, over Frank and Paddy McVeigh. So I don't know what the rest of the boys down the field, but we lost a good 12 or 13 in that last stage easy.
Fergus O'Meara's long trip from Killarney is worthwhile as he lies 5th overnight, with local driver Johnny Leonard 2 places behind in 7th. Another local man, Shane McGurr, is having a rare tarmac outing and lies 4th. Emma McKinstry was 3rd fastest after stage 1 at St Angelo, and now onto the rail stages she commands 5th place. However, the Banbridge lady drops 25 places on Malabeny Hill when the Subaru stops for only 3 minutes with fuel pressure problems. It's tight at the top, and the weather could be a deciding factor if the old-style Escort is to hold off the modern Minis challenge. Stanley Ballantyne, a Group N contender in the National Rally, leads us into day 2. Emma McKinstry has her fiancé Kenny Hull on the pace notes, and together they start their long climb back up from 31st position overnight, with the fuel pump now repaired. Emma is on a great charge, and she clocks up a 2nd fastest time along the way, and is never out of the top 7 stage times. From 31st to 9th in 6 stages, that's progress. You can see how hard Emma's trying here. Kenny proposed and Emma said yes, and this is one young lady who seems quite content in taking orders from her husband-to-be. Kieran Graffin wins the Group N section in the National Rally in his rare Evo 10. Fintan McGrady puts on a late charge to finish 7th and finishes just 2 seconds behind Brian Armstrong. Cavan charger Chris Armstrong ends the event in 5th. And Johnny Leonard, who starred at Lurgan Park, is 4th despite a brake problem. For Shane McGurr and Jackie Elliott, however, 3rd place is a fine effort.
It's not often we do tarmac rally and we're generally in the woods. We just went out for the crack. We put on 4 Forest tarmac tyres and away we went. Didn't really change suspension, nothing. Really enjoyed it. Brilliant weekend.
The overnight leader, Frank Kelly, holds a narrow 2.7 second advantage, but that is to evaporate here on stage 11, Karen Bridge, and he simply can't make back the time.
What's wrong? We sort of lost it really on Karen Bridge with a good share of rain on us and slicks, and it just didn't work out for us. We fought very hard. The next 2 tried to make it back, wasn't enough. Derek did supremely well, so he deserves it. Fair play to him.
Derek McGeehan and Darragh Mullen move into the lead, and they simply power away to end the event 24 seconds ahead. It's a result that also puts Derek closer to Derek McGarrity in the Northern Ireland Rally Series.
This morning we pulled all stops out and tried as hard as we could, and it paid for us in the end, so very good to get it now. It was a hard battle with Franklin.
The hard battle in the Historics is going Ryan Barrett's way, as overnight leader Gareth James retires early on day 2 with an engine fire, and Wesley Patterson struggles through stage 9 with damaged suspension. Desi Nutt and Geraldine McBride take an excellent Category 1 victory, whilst James O'Mahony is a fine 8th and first in his class in his unusual Volvo. Aidan O'Connor and Ian Regan claim 7th and first in their class, whilst English visitors fill the next places, with Aidan Seabridge 6th, David Stokes 5th and Ernie Graham 4th. For Wesley Patterson, it's a broken half shaft that finally causes his retirement, and Rob Smith ends up 3rd on his first run in his Mark II Escort. Richard Hill and Sam Collins in their Mark I Escort really put on a show to take 2nd place overall in the Historics. But it's Oma's Ryan Barrett and Barry Ferris who finish over a minute ahead to win the Ulster Historic Rally.
The stage is fantastic. The organising of the whole rally, marshals, everything, spectators was just unbelievable. There was thousands of spectators on the stage. It's just great to see it, you know. Good to see all the English competitors over as well. You know, and they enjoyed it the 3rd day as well, you know, so it's really good, you know, for motorsport in general and Ulster Rally too.
In Rally NI, Daniel McKenna claims C2 and 5th place. Johnny Greer and Johnny Hart take 4th. While Mark Donnelly made a late charge with 3 fastest times to finish 3rd. Yuka Korhonen's 2nd place further boosts his British Championship lead. 20-year-old Oisin Price marks himself out as a star of the future as he wins Rally NI, guided by co-driver Dale Furness. The Ulster has always been good for emerging Welsh talent.
Yeah, first win for the BSE. Really happy, especially after hard rally, but really happy that we pulled it off.
Rally NI has been voted the best British round for the last 2 years, and Fermanagh could make it 3.
But we still have to bring home the Tarmac Championship runners. It's 6th place for William Aviti and Andrew Brown. Stephen and Suzanne Wright are 5th and 2nd in Group N, and Josh Moffat and John Rowan win the production Group N category from 4th place overall.
Great result after the tough weekend's battle with Stephen Wright and the boys, but really glad to be here.
Also glad to finish are Donna Kelly and Kevin Flanagan, whose consistent run pays off with a 3rd place. Derek McGarrity was more than consistent this weekend as he led for 4 stages, but that Saturday spin cost him a lot of time. Garry Jennings and Rory Kennedy were on fire on day 2.
Progress continues and opens 200.
But it's no easy run to the finish as they drop 30 seconds with a road penalty, arriving late on stage 11 as the Subaru's engine temperature rockets. It's a very nervous final loop for the pair, but the engine holds and they're fastest on all but one of the final tests to win the Ulster Rally. It's Gary's first Ulster win, but not Rory's, having guided the late Bertie Fisher to victory in the past.
Yeah, it was quite hard to do. You know, I was very nervous all week to come here, and probably was expected to be up there in the fight. But don't forget, we were 20 seconds down after the first stage, you know. But yeah, we come back, we put our heads down, and the team worked very, very well. And fair play to Derek McGarry's men who run the car. They didn't miss the bat again. That's been all season. The car is fantastic, you know.
Fermanagh man is first on the first Ulster Rally to be based in Fermanagh. You could hardly ask for better than that.
So congratulations to Garry Jennings and Rory Kennedy for winning the Todd's Leap Ulster Rally, and to Enniskillen for hosting such an excellent event.